This podcast is brought to you by brwdigital.com, a video production company based in Santa Fe, servicing the needs of businesses and content creators worldwide. brwdigital.com.
Welcome to the Breaking Indie Studio. We are here to introduce an interview that we shot, which was really exciting at the Santa Fe Film Festival. We have a lot of interviews from the Santa Fe Film Festival, and each one is special in its own way. Also, bear with us, this was our mobile setup, so if the quality's not amazing, it's because we did our best with what we had. But even though the quality wasn't amazing, the interviews that we did get were pretty spectacular. This interview was one of my favorites with Veronica Falcone. You may know her from Ozark. This film is American Underdog, and it was really amazing to talk to her as an actor myself, really about her journey and about how she kind of came into the game late and was still able to get work and start a pretty awesome career. So check that out.
Do you feel a little underdressed in this moment?
Well, sitting across from Veronica, maybe a little bit. I'm a big fan.
Are you?
Veronica Falcone. I mean,
really?
I love you on Ozark. That was that's piercing gaze. I mean, yeah. It's just like.
It's not the writing, it's the writing.
Yeah.
Jason is a fantastic director, and so is Laura, and it was just fun.
Yeah, just like, I don't know, just like your quiet intensity. I don't know how else to describe it, but you're watching it and you're like, oh.
She's gonna do something really bad.
Exactly. So talk to us about this film, American Underdog, and just kind of your role, and
Well, I play Marcela, who is the owner of the gym where our lead trains, and I love this movie because I kind of think about it as an underdog movie made by underdogs. Danny Trejo, come on, like his story is extraordinary.
Right.
I came to Hollywood when I was 49. I'm 57 right now, so that's also
You started at 49?
No, I didn't start at 49.
Okay.
I moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I started at 19. I've been doing this for around 4 years, but I moved to Los Angeles when I was 49, which is insane because nobody wants an old actress, But apparently, I got lucky and then I worked. So I'm kind of an underdog, and this story is extraordinary as well, and it has a lot of representation in the movie, and I love underdog stories. I think everybody does. We all want a second chance, or we all want, the person that has least probabilities to make it.
Yes.
Because it's kind of like the dream, I guess, for everybody. Because I kind of have the theory that we all feel a little bit like underdogs. Right, like we never feel like we can fit quite, especially when you work in this industry, like especially in independent cinema. Mm-hmm. Like independent cinema is the kingdom of underdogs, I think.
It really is.
And I love that. I love when I see stories of an unknown director that nobody gave, can I say a flying flag for?
Yeah, absolutely.
And suddenly, it turns into this incredible film, and that's what keeps it interesting. That's what makes me passionate about doing it, because there's always risk involved whenever you do a movie or a television show. But when you are an independent cinema, there's more risk. There's more at stake. Some people, that, guys. I mean, there's people that take, 7 years to do a movie, and they mortgage their house, and they ask their mother for the college money, and they were like, "You're crazy," And it does require a bit of craziness to be in this business, and I love that. So, I'm an older actor. I've been doing this for a long time, but it's just so electrifying when I see people that are just interested in creating film. No matter what kind of film, they just have like the passion to do it, and it's very inspiring. That's what keeps me not jaded.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, talk to us a little bit about how you got onto this film, because for us and for our listeners and viewers, as independent filmmakers that are still breaking in as well to the industry, how does one get Veronica Falcone. I mean, did you fall in love with the script or what?
You know,
really got you?
I don't get offered. I don't get as many offers as people think I do. I consider myself a working actor. I'm always auditioning. Like right now after the strike, there was a good period that I wasn't getting any auditions, so I would get offers of things I really didn't want to get involved with. And this was actually the last movie I did before the actor strike.
Oh.
And I read the script and I loved the story. I, of course, wanted to work with Danny Trejo. You know, he's incredibly inspiring. And funny enough, we didn't get to do any scenes together. And I didn't meet him while we were shooting. I met him afterwards in an unrelated event. But, well, now he's here. And, you know, it was like, it's kind of like an honor to be in one of Danny Trejo movies. You know, it's kind of cool, I thought.
Definitely, yeah.
And also, you know, I like the script. I like the story. I love underdog stories, as I said. So when they send me the script, I say, what do they want me to play? And I thought they want me to play, I'm not going to be the love interest because I'm too old, so I'm probably going to be the mother. And I played so many mothers and aunts, and I was just like, let me read the script. And then when I realized I was playing the owner of the gym, I'm like, okay, now I'm interested. Because, you know, usually in this, you know, a lot of movies are formulas, and in this kind of formula, a lot of the times, you know, you have the trainer, which is an older, you know, like wise guy that has been through whose Danny is perfect for.
Yeah, sure.
And then the owner of the gym is kind of a lesser, you know, but it still has some grit, and it's usually like someone that didn't quite made it, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And then that was the role.
Drinking problem.
Exactly. I mean, in this movie, apparently Marcella doesn't, but who knows, you know. But I like playing strong women. I think it's important to have, especially when you're a minority actor like myself. You know, we all tend to get over a lot of stereotypes.
Is there a certain character that like you have had your eye on that you want to play, or is there like a wish list of like maybe?
It's more a wish list of directors, you know, more than a character. Because of course there's characters that you wanna do, but sometimes what is very interesting for me is to think of, I don't know, someone like Yorgos Lanthimos. In Poor Things, when he comes with this script that nobody expects, with these roles that are nobody's ever heard of, and that's why I think more in terms of directors instead of characters, because sometimes the directors or the screenwriters and the directors, they come up with these incredible characters that as an actor you can't just help but fall in love with, you know. And I just wish I'm one day lucky enough to play a character like that. I mean, I played some really good characters that I love, but I would really love to do something really out there, really strange, and I don't know. I mean, I would just love to do that. Cool. You know, like Jamie Lee Curtis when she was doing.
With the fingers.
Yes. I'm like, yeah, that's the because that's what you haven't. I mean, when you've been in this industry as long as I have, you play a lot of characters, and they kind of repeat themselves at one point because. You know, you're not a household name, so you don't get to choose that much. And then also because people like to see you playing certain roles, and also because you work for certain roles better than for others. You know, that's the truth. Even if you're a good actor, you have a certain physicality, you have a certain presence, and directors tend to cast you in certain types of roles. But yeah, I would love to do something like that.
We can throw some hot dogs on your hands right now.
You're right? Just do that, like, exactly. Weirder things I've done, believe me.
But yeah, not only are you a gym owner, you're an MMA gym owner.
Yeah.
You know, which is like, boxing is, you know, intense, of course.
But exactly.
Brutal, like.
No, it was so funny because I didn't even know what it was. You know, so I had to ask my son, and he's like, how can you not know? I say, well, I don't. I do yoga. He's like, Mom, you cannot play that role if you don't know that. I say, well, apparently I can, because they just offer it to me, and I need to know what this is. And it was fascinating. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, all the martial arts, all these new things, they're always fascinating to me. I wouldn't do one of those, you know, but I like watching them, and it's like, okay, if you can do that, go for it. But I like playing a woman that, you know, in our backstory, we kind of thought that she was a practitioner, and she was, you know, but she was a woman, and she could never make it because she was a woman, and da-da-da. And it kind of made sense in terms of what Marcella was about. And so yeah, that's how I got to the movie.
Awesome. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, and MMA, I mean, it really has been a male-dominated sport, but now, in the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, women,
Yeah.
you know, the women's
Well,
division is exploding.
We
They're
are
on
in
the same
in
card.
Santa Fe, and Ronda Rousey's from Albuquerque.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
there's
Arguably
that.
the most
Really?
famous female MMA fighter, yeah.
And fighters have grit. I mean, it is a different kind of thing. But when I see women, you know, like doing really extreme sports, they're good and they're like tough as nails.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that. I hate when people put people in boxes.
Well,
you know?
talking about underdogs, that's another aspect that I just love to see women excel in what's traditionally considered a male-dominated
Yeah.
sport, industry, whatever. Like my sister is a captain at the fire department here in town.
Good for
You
her.
know, and she's one of, I think, 3 in the last, 10
Yeah.
years.
And but you know the thing
Breaking
about
those
that is
molds,
like
you know?
we like it and we're so proud of that, and then we think, why did it took us so long?
Yeah.
Why is it that we are celebrating women doing male-dominating sports up until now, 2024? You know, it's kind of like a backhand compliment. On one hand, yes, and the other hand is like, why weren't they allowed, or why weren't they given the space, or why couldn't we just, you know, see each other's equals?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
we have different characteristics, but in terms of, you know, whatever we have the right to do, I think it's equals.
Yeah, it's almost like patronizing, like, oh my God, that's amazing, she's so
Yeah.
brave. It's like, well, is she so brave, or
Yeah.
are we just all the same?
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
So
it
can
had,
I-
yeah.
No, so
No, no.
go ahead.
No,
What I
no.
was about to say is stupid, please.
No, say it, say it.
Please,
You want to be stupid,
This
go
is a
ahead.
podcast, so that's what this is about.
Can I ask you about your tattoos?
Oh, yeah, well, I have 8 of them, and
I just noticed, honestly, like the ones on your arm, you have the lines.
yeah, these lines, I mean, these ones are parallel lines. You know, it's my son and me, because, you know, we have like very parallel lives, but we're together, but we have independent, so it's like to mark that. And this is limits, you know, like how to, because we all, I think, have to learn how to break our own limits and how to set limits and how to overcome limits. And the line kind of made me think of that.
You're
So,
like drawing a literal, this is the line.
yeah,
This is,
but it's also the lines you break. You know, it's also the lines you fight to overcome. You know, these limitations that you put on yourself. Because of course, there's limitations you have to put for people to, you know, treat you in a respectful way and all that. And there's limits you have to put to yourself, you know, to kind of be disciplined. There's also limits you have to break. And those, I think, are the most important because it's the beliefs that hold you back, you know, and we all have them. And for me, it's kind of a reminder to keep on breaking them because every time someone tells you you can't do this, I think the next question is, why not? You know, why not? Why can I not do that? You know, and then you have to ask that to yourself. So I think that's what it kind of.
Like
That's the
coming to
reason.
Hollywood at
I guess for the
49.
listener
Yeah.
who can't see, she has 2 lines on her arm and a line on the side of her shoulder. So.
Well,
Yeah.
Not everyone gets to see.
Well, I have 2
Dude, this is a
lines
pitch, this is a
on
pitch.
my shoulder. I mean, one line on my shoulder, the other one's in my arm, and they're like parallel lines, and they're just black. Little
I
lines.
forget it. We're
But
still,
here's the thing, you sign up to our YouTube channel so you can see
Exactly.
all the steamy.
So you can see the lines. So you can see the lines.
Okay, all right. So we do have one question that we try to ask everybody on our podcast. Is you said you've been doing this since we were 19.
Yeah.
What was it like starting out, or what were some of the kind of earlier on aspects of your career? Like how we're breaking indies, so we talk about breaking into the world. But for you, can you talk a little bit more about just, and maybe it's not so
Like
much
the first
very beginning,
movie or
maybe
the
a little
first-
bit of like just your journey.
Well, you know,
Let's talk about how you developed from where you started to where you are now over your.
Well, it's funny because my family, nobody is in showbiz or in the entertainment industry. My father was an architect and my mother was a housewife, and then she had like a little boutique. I have one brother that's a sports journalist, and nobody was in show business. I started with the theater, you know, obviously in school, like little plays and all that. And then I started to realize that's what I wanted to do. And I was very confused because I didn't know if I wanted to be an actor or a choreographer. I started in this because I fell in love with musical films like Vincent Minnelli and Fred Astaire and all these old musicals. And then I realized I had no talent for singing. So I couldn't really do like good, musical comedy. Yeah, I could dance a little bit, I could act well, but singing, oh no, you don't want to hear me sing. So I realized that's not going to happen. No, you have no idea. Like my son literally cried one day. And I'm like, why are you crying? He's like, because you sing terribly. I'm like, shut up.
That's that
Like seriously. And he was suffering. So after that, I'm like, I'm not singing ever again. So I started like doing college and little theater. And my family was kind of not opposed, but they were not encouraging. You have to understand, I grew up in Mexico City in a middle class family, conservative family, because everybody's a little conservative there. And to have a daughter in the 80s that wanted to travel the world and become an actor, for a family like mine was like, no, you get married, have some kids, go to college, have a decent life. I'm like, well, no, I don't think that's going to happen. So eventually I started working in the theater. I started as a choreographer, and I had a somewhat very successful career as a choreographer. And I was acting, in independent things, in film, in theater, sorry. But I got an opportunity to do a bigger career as a choreographer first. And then I choreographed the National Opera in Mexico around 7 times.
Oh, wow.
And when I got to choreograph Mozart, that's when I said, I'm done. No, once you do that, whatever the result is the pinnacle of something. And I was getting older, as a choreographer, you can be a bit older, but I liked moving, and, I couldn't dance as I used to. And at the same time, I was really getting very, very interested in just being an actor. And it took a while because people knew me so much as a choreographer. They didn't want to see me as an actor. In theater, yes, but not in film and television. So it took a while. And I had to take really little roles and, almost background, and people that I had been directing or choreographing for, they would be like, why are you doing this? And they wouldn't understand. But then little by little, I started to make a name for myself as an actor. And at one point, people forgot I was a choreographer. Even myself, I just became an actor full on, and I still love dance, and I still miss it sometimes, but I think it was part of my journey to become ultimately an actor, and now that's it.
That was an awesome interview, probably.
I don't know. We're going to copy and paste this to each one. So I think they're all pretty good, though, right? I think about it.
They're all great. They better be. Some you might like more than others, but if you really liked this one with
Veronica Falcone.
we'll just maybe
Wait,
insert the
and then
name.
we need AI to do
I'll just
all the names.
This interview with
Veronica Falcone.
was really awesome about.
Being passion and whatever.
So we hoped you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, please like, subscribe, but also leave a comment, maybe about your process with a similar context as a filmmaker, as anyone involved in the filmmaking process. We want to hear from you. We also want to hear maybe more of what you want to hear about. So different conversations.
If you're in the entertainment industry,
Please
or a
hire us.
filmmaker, please hire us. Also, please feel free to reach out if you want to be part of the conversation. It's an open invitation, not for everybody, but if you're cool enough or
It's an open invitation that's exclusive.
yeah, we'll go with that.
It's an exclusive invitation.
Yeah, leave a comment, reach out, DM, email, all the stuff, and we can talk about it. Open to cross collaborations and sponsorships.
Especially sponsorship.
Mostly sponsorships.
Give us one.
Breaking Indie Podcast.
I think that's
All right,
good.
let's go get some food, dude. Lunch.
This episode is sponsored in part by The Crow's Nest.
So, Rose, tell me about your shop.
Yeah, my shop is called The Crow's Nest. It's an oddities and curiosities shop. We feature items of the strange and extraterrestrial variety, as well as everyday spiritual delights such as tarot cards, crystals, and so much more. We aim to support artists both locally and worldwide who specialize in the weird, wild, and spooky. Whether you're shopping for yourself or for the one who has everything, at The Crow's Nest we have all sorts of knickknacks, trinkets, novelties, and gewgaws.
Do you have a favorite oddity in your shop?
Bad taxidermy. Bad taxidermy is always the best taxidermy.
What is bad taxidermy?
Bad taxidermy is exactly what it says. It's taxidermy, but it ain't great. Do you like weird things? Find our shop on Instagram at The Crow's Nest Oddities. We do have an online store. It's on our website, which is also The Crow's Nest Oddities. You'll just push the shop button and feel free to explore our catalog.